So again, today's session will be preparing a letter of intent for the current release of the DOE SBIR STTR program. And we will be discussing that and going over that. Next slide, Sonia. And so we are hosted this session. The University of Arizona Center for Innovation works in partnership with the U.S. Department of Energy and the SBIR STTR America Seed Fund. So they do contract with us to provide this support, and we work with a larger group in putting together these sessions and overall application support. So just a little bit about UACI. We are a science and technology incubator associated with the University of Arizona. We support startups that are have a science and technology focus, and we have had the opportunity to do a lot of focus in the solar industry, and that has really spurred and been due to our partnership with the Tucson Electric Power and the Solar Zone, which is a multi demonstration site here in Tucson, Arizona. And we've had just a lot of growth in our support of the solar industry and startups because of this relationship. And anyone that's interested in learning more about the Solar Zone could always reach out, and I'd love to provide that information. And also the university, UACI, is part of a larger Power Connector group out of the American-made network, and we work with a number of different organizations that are all providing supports for different opportunities, whether it be a prize, a challenge, a grant, throughout the country. And this is just kind of giving you a quick idea of some of the other Power Connectors that are located throughout the country, where they're located, and we all come together with a different host of skills and expertise. And so again, if you'd like to learn any more about that, you can go to the American Made Network and review their information and their skill sets. And I also would be happy to connect you to any of those other organizations. Next slide, Sonia. And so for this actual opportunity, we're working with 4 other Power Connectors: ADL Ventures, Open Seas, Entrepreneur Futures Network, and the Clean Energy Business Network. Each of us are bringing together some different activities, whether it be office hours, recruitment, or even mentorship and educational opportunities. So I encourage you to take a look at their websites. There's contact information for each of those organizations. If you are in water, if you're interested particularly in a water topic, Open Seas is a great contact for that. And then I also wanted to just quickly draw your attention to the Clean Energy Business Network is hosting a session tomorrow, which will be a hands-on work session on preparing your LOI. So today's content is meant to support that. And if you would like to have a session where you're working in a group on writing your LOI, getting some general feedback in real time during that session, you can attend that. I will put the link in the chat, and hope you'll register for that as well. And then I will talk about this later, but we will host an office hour session on Friday with Sonia, who I'll introduce in just a moment, and we'll go over, just be available for any last minute questions before the holiday break. So I'll turn it over now to Sonia Von Hout, who is a subject matter expert with UACI. She has been an expert in this area, has worked for many years with both startups and small businesses in SBIR, STTR supports, and other government funding. And beyond just DOE, she's had expertise from many different areas. So I'll turn it over to you now, Sonia. You're on mute, Sonia. Mute. Sonia, you're on mute, Sonia.
Thank you. All right, let's start again. Thank you, Amanda. Famous mute button. Okay, so today Typically, I just start with a little bit of an overview about the program and the registrations needed. We can underemphasize the fact that you have to start early on those registrations. Again, we all know that the funding opportunity announcement has been delayed, which has pushed back or given delays potentially on all the deliverables, possibly including the letter of intent. So I just want to make it clear that the content given today is very specific to the funding opportunity announcement from last year. So there might be some variation, but I suspect that the essence of what you need to put on a letter of intent will not change. So we'll go through it today. So the SBIR program started in 1982. It has funded billions of dollars, specifically to the small businesses, and it is non-dilutive funding. And the idea is to fund early stage high risk innovation and to stimulate the economy, and particularly also assist the socially and economically disadvantaged companies. Keep in mind, this is only for U.S. for-profit with less than 500 employees. So if you're not one of those, then this program's not for you. And all the work has to be done in the United States. So the basics, again, the SBIR started first in 1982, and then the STTR came shortly after that, well, about 10 years later, and it requires that you partner with a research institution. That could be either a university or a federally funded research development center, such as one of the DOE national laboratories. So specifically to the DOE, its mission is to ensure that America has the security and prosperity addressing energy, environmental, and nuclear challenges by using transformative science and technology solutions. We're going to be focusing on the goal number 1, and I color-coded these. As far as the energy is concerned, those are the topics that specifically to this solicitation, the DOE is funding our power connector. And so even if we drill down a little bit more, we're going to be focusing on energy efficiency and renewable energy. I've again color-coded and all the program offices and put an asterisk next to the ones that are on the current release on the list of topics. And we're going to be focusing on solar and water, and that's where our organization is going to be providing the assistance. The specific topics are 11 through 22. They have already given some webinars on these, so make sure that you listen to them. Again, the registrations, if you haven't started SAM, it can take up to a couple months to get your registration active. So you will require it for your letter of intent. So if you haven't done so, you take a big risk on not being able to submit that letter. And it will give you a unique identifier, entity identifier, or UEI, and you have to renew annually. In addition to SAM, you're going to need grant.gov, the SBA will give you a registration that typically you need to add on your applications, and you submit your letter of intent and your proposal through the PAMs. Okay, so if we look at the letter of intent, it is required. You cannot submit a full proposal without having submitted a letter of intent. Its purpose is so that they will know, or they meaning the DOE will know, how to start assigning reviewers based on who's going to be applying in the different topics and types of innovations. It's typically due 3 weeks after the funding opportunity announcement is issued. So we already know the FOA is delayed. Will it delay the due date of the letter of intent? We do not know yet when that date will be or if it will be delayed. So if you're interested on any one of the topics on this vote, on this current release, start preparing that letter of intent. I'm hopeful that it won't change too much, but you will need it. Because as Amanda said, they did let us know that we have to continue giving these webinars. So I suspect that there might not be too much change. And the other reason is so that they can start letting people know if their application or their innovation is non-responsive. So they will let you know if it's non-responsive. In the past, they would not let you know otherwise. That might change on this solicitation. In the past, also, you could not submit more than 10 letters of intent or 10 distinct applications. We will see what happens on this round. But each letter of intent has to be completely unique. So as far as the content is concerned, typically you will be putting, a header with information about your company, who the business official and the contact information is, who the principal investigator is. Are you collaborating with anybody, subcontractors or consultants? You would list them here. And you would have to say if this is a phase 1, SBIR, STTR, give it a title and topic and subtopic. It was less than 500 words. And keep in mind that this particular information could become public, so it has to be all non-proprietary. And you have to give sufficient technical detail so that whoever's reviewing your LOI gets it and can make the determination, is this responsive to a topic or not? And be able to get what it is that your innovation is and your product or service. Okay, so that abstract has to be less than 500 words, not exceed 2 pages. And it has to clearly explain why you are responsive to the research and development of the particular topic, subtopic you are going to be submitting an application to. And you have to provide sufficient technical detail. Again, this is important because it will let them know if you're being responsive, and then they can select reviewers with a technical and commercial background for this solicitation round. And again, it cannot be proprietary information, and make sure that if you submit more than one letter of intent, that it's all different between the different ones, that you're submitting different applications. And they'll let you know if it's non-responsive. Excuse me. Okay, so I put here just an illustration of what a typical letter of intent abstract would look like. And I would recommend that be 2-3 paragraphs, no more. And right up front, what you're going to be doing and what topic you're going to be responding to, and what is that value proposition. Right there, as soon as possible. And then on the second couple of paragraphs or one paragraph, what it is that you're intending to do with the money for that solicitation. Again, or that topic. Keep in mind, this is non-proprietary information. So yes, you have to give enough technical detail, but don't give out your secret sauce, right? So I give an example here, and if you go to the DOE's website, they have more templates and more examples so that you could find one that's more applicable to you. But as Amanda mentioned, we're going to have office hours. Our partners and collaborators are also going to have more hands-on webinars and office hours. So make sure that you take advantage of all these free services so that you can respond to this the best as possible. Okay, so you submit through PAMS. So you have to create a PAMS account. These were the instructions from the previous FOA. So it could vary slightly, or they can have different instructions. So, but in the past, you would go on to PAMS, create an account, and submit an abstract of your PDF file. And there would be all the instructions there on how to do it. I suspect it's going to be a similar process. So be prepared. If PAMS is up and running, don't wait till the letter of intent is due. Start doing this as well so that you can fill out any information you can do while you wait for the FOA. And just as, just to give you an idea of what a typical application used to look like, the elements that are important are going to be after you submit your letter of intent, when you are ready to submit your your full proposal sometime in February, I hope. Excuse me. You're going to have the gut or the meat of your proposal is going to be what's called the project narrative. And if you're doing a phase one, it was 15 pages, 7,500 words. There's a few topics where you could do a fast track, and phase two typically was 20 pages, 10,000 words. You're going to have a budget justification, a good team, including who you employ and who you partner with, subcontracts and consultants. For phase two, you do need a full-blown commercialization plan. For phase one, typically is about 1 page, and there used to be very concise and clear instructions of what goes into those commercialization plans. But if you're submitting a full proposal for phase one, be prepared to have an idea of what your product is, who your customer is, how you're going to commercialize, and be able to do it in possibly 1 to 2 pages, maybe less. Let's see what the FOA says. And typical information about your company and other disclosures, and a data management plan. Again, this might vary slightly when the FOA comes out. I know that there might be some requirements for DEIA, or diversity, equity, and inclusion. So be prepared for having a plan to address DEIA. And then here are some resources that you can find on the DOE's main website. They've already put out the webinars. So if you haven't seen these, do so. Also, each topic, when you look, and we looked at the anatomy, I would call it, of a topic last week. There's also a name of a program officer or director, program manager, maybe an email address on each topic. If you have technical questions, this is the time to start doing it. There's also phase zero for first-time applicants only, and this will help you with different activities for your proposal preparation, maybe doing some market research, or maybe reviews of your solicitation. So it's free for you. If you qualify as first-time applicant, please consider looking at this. Also, if you go into the DOE site, they have all kinds of other resources. You'll even find other consultants or companies that they vetted that can also provide services, such as either through the power connectors or consulting services as you develop your proposal. Another thing that or service that's free, or free money for you, is under phase two, you could request, or phase one, up to $6,500, and phase two, $50,000. And you have to put this as part of your proposal. And this is free money to you that can help you with commercialization activities, such as market research, maybe IP strategy, regulatory strategies. So please do take a look at this. And shameless plug, I'm a provider of technical or TAVA services. So if you need support there, you can look at adding me into your proposal.
Ah.
This was the schedule that was released before. And as you can see, all of these are delayed. A typical application award timeline is illustrated in this figure, and this is where right now we're delayed. But once it comes out, you'll have about a month and a half to submit your proposal. There'll be about 2.5 to 3 months where the DOE will be reviewing. If they like your proposal, they'll come back and do their due diligence and negotiate anything they need to, either with your budget or scope. And again, this is just an outline of here's the life of your innovation from R&D to commercializing. We're right now looking at the phase 1. They're giving you phase 0 assistance, topic webinars. We're here to help you through as a power connector. Once you win, there's the I-Core, and then depends on what stage you are in technology readiness level, you can request or apply for other resources. Okay, so in summary, we touched on what is the SBIR program and STTR. We reviewed the contents of a typical letter of intent. Be prepared to spend up to 200 hours creating and writing your proposal. Make sure that you read the solicitation thoroughly. Ask questions. If you need help, we're here and available to help you whichever way we can. Attend the DOE webinars, watch the recorded videos and any slide presentations. Talk to the program managers, reach out with your technical questions. And upcoming webinars through us, and Amanda might have additional information here, but we're going to be looking at how to write your proposal, and commercialization plans, DEIA plan, as it relates to the SMART goals, possibly some IP and data rights, and the other power connectors also have a series of webinars in support for you. And if you have any questions, here's our contact information and some links.